Um, okay, what I believe that I'm supposed to be showing you all is how to enter the escrow transactions. And Terry, are you on the phone call?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So this is how I would start out entering a transaction. Terry, yours is going to be a little bit different because you have two accounts where most people are only going to have the one escrow account.
Okay.
So I'll pretend like I'm talking to you because I have to talk to somebody.
Okay.
So you're going to click on property. This would be your new transactions. We will need you to put in all of the transactions that you have pending as of January 1st in Michigan. We'll be entering in all of the escrow accounts that are already pending, and you have to enter it by the address. So hopefully you'll have that, not just seller and buyer's names. I'm just going to put in a fake transaction so you can see what I'm doing and how really simple it is. Okay, so say we take an earnest money deposit from, for a property. We're going to go into the property's address, the tab at the top, click on add, or new, sorry, company. You will only see the offices that you guys have access to. So it'll pop up with company will be Michigan, type would be residential, counting code, residential sale, and I'm just going to do single family attached. Pending transaction. Shoot. There is a possibility that this transaction would already be in your system. If it's active, you could just search the active transaction to make it pending as well. So I'm just kind of putting in fake dates right now to get it going. All right, save. If the property is not already in there, you'll have to add in selling price, commission price. You might not even know this if you only have the earnest money, but hopefully you got something turned in by your agents as well. So let's just say 125,000. Buyer's agent. Okay, and then hit save. All these tabs on the side, the one that you're looking for is the escrow tab. And this is how simple it will be for you to enter. Terry, you're going to pick up, you're going to say you got a deposit from the buyer. So you're going to click on deposit. Select your bank account, which again, you would only, if you were in the Petoskey office, you would only see the Petoskey office escrow. So that's pretty simple. All right, where's my Holland office? Maybe I didn't give myself access to it.
You did.
Come on, Mike.
Not in there. I looked this morning.
Holland's awful. There should be two in here. Okay, well, I'm going to do Traverse City since we are Brooklyn Bart. So I'm just going to say select the Traverse City escrow account. Check number would be the check number on the check you're receiving from their client. Date that you're depositing the check. So if you're going to scan that or however you take it to the bank, but today's the date that it's going to go, you're going to pick today's date in the amount $500. Select the pay.
Hey, Mike, I have a quick question. This is Sarah and Mark. I have a question about QuickBooks. Are we still going to be doing that?
Not once you get all your escrows switched over, all of you will stop using QuickBooks because all your bank statement and will all be done on here to balance it.
Thank you. That's the best Christmas present I've got yet. Thank you.
Well, good. You get a candy cane. All right. So again, you want to select the agent or the buyer, and it should be the same buyer that's on the property. I mean, that's how these things are gonna tie together anyways. And then you're gonna post. So now it shows, this would be a deposit from Barbara Smith, $500 in this transaction. Pretty simple. If you need to write the check out, now you're gonna say, I'm either writing it back to Barbara Smith or I'm writing it to the title company. You're gonna click on check, select the bank account, which again, you won't have all these options. This will be your check number, which would be 502, today's date, 2319. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, you have two options here, post and print. Post will just plug it in up here, but you want to print the check. So you want to hit post and print, and this way it'll print the check that you're going to send to Barbara Smith. Now I did this on purpose, that I only paid her $400, and that's so if I zoom in on the check, on your check stub, there's a ledger here, and it's going to tell you, you still have $100 left in your account. So either you didn't pay Barbara enough, or it's supposed to be there still. So that's kind of a little extra help for yourself to say, oh, or if you paid her $5,000 by accident, the system will allow you to go to the negative account, which something I don't care for. It would say you over dispersed by, $4,500. So if you see that and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I should have paid her $500. You can close this out, click on edit, delete, and then redo the check. Same way if you're writing it to if you're writing it to the title company. 502, $500. Woodland title. All right, why isn't Woodland title in there? But
Because we do it to Chicago title, maybe.
we probably have not put in Chicago title, but you can. Yep, Chicago title. There you go. We make all ours out to Woodland. So if you did that, then you would click on post and print again, and it will print that check.
Can you do more than one check at a time?
You're gonna print
No,
one
like
check
I've
at a time. Yeah, it says print all, but it's not gonna print. It's only gonna be one check at this point to
One
do.
property?
Yeah, it's not gonna do like if you put it in and then hit, you have to hit either post or print. So you're only on one check to do it. Terry, what you're going to do is when you select the deposit here,
Yeah.
you're going to actually have two accounts, one for your trust account and one for your commission account, which would be a pass-through.
Right.
And so you're going to enter in the money that you got from the title company into that account. So you'll see both of you'll see trust account and commission account on here, and then you'll see the money that is coming out of your account for this. So you'll have two separate accounts to look at that will still be treated like an escrow account on this screen. Okay, so now we get, say we got the commission check from Woodland Title. For $5,000. Chicago Title. Now this is the commission check that you're getting in for the total commission, $5,000. Charlevoix, wherever you're at, we're going to pull this amount from you, so that we're going to do an automatic draw every day. When you send us the closings, we're going to pull this $5,000 out so that it still zeroes out this whole trust account transaction. So you're going to enter in a fake check into the system. You're going to do check, pick the account, pick the next check number will automatically come up. Actually, you're going to change the check number. I'm sorry. and type in PT, and then here's the transaction ID number, 1552430. And what the PT is, we're treating it as pass-through. So this is the amount we're gonna draw from your account today for this account. So this will be your way of tracking money coming out of your account from Coldwell Banker, because when we pull it, it's gonna be a lump. But you're gonna see what checks make up the total lump that we're pulling. Hope that makes sense. If so, say yes.
Like Sarah did, there's a couple questions about checks that came up in the chat box, if you can see that.
Oh, I can't. I'll check it out. Thanks. I'm on full screen on my other one, so. Oh, wait a minute. CD. There. Michigan pass-through was what we will put in for the vendor. That way you'll be able to tell that this Michigan pass-through and this check number with this ID is the amount that we're pulling from your account for today's commissions. Let me go try to find the chat window. Okay. Is there an additional step required for printing? If you're Samantha, if you're currently using the QuickBooks, instead of hitting post and print, if you're using the QuickBooks to print the check currently, until you switch over, you can just type in, hit post, and it'll automatically post the check, and it just won't print it at that point. Or if you want to print it on blank paper with that check number, that is fine too. I'm not sure, Tony, what you mean by the paper checks. I think everybody's got paper checks. Are you talking about ones that are not computer checks? Like a QuickBooks check? So, okay, so you're handwriting the checks. I would want you to get a hold of Julie and have her order you QuickBooks checks or blank check stock so that you can just automatically print them from your printer. I do have the printer thing set up that possibly they might not match every printer, but we have to kind of keep an eye on that just to verify like the dollars and the numbers are all in the right spot. But we've had a couple. Yeah.
Starting the first of the year, I believe we're going to be processing Tony's transactions.
Oh, okay.
In Holland.
So she won't be writing checks anyways, right?
That's what I believe.
Oh, is she in Whitehall?
No, she's in Nuevo.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Tony. Forget where you're at. Yes, that is true. Yeah, so we won't have to order checks for that because you're taking over. The money's going to be deposited into your Holland commission account and your escrow account as well.
Correct.
Okay. So that will alleviate that with Tommy. Sorry. Everyone write PT. Yes, everybody's writing PT, and we're just calling that for the pass-through, and it's an easy way to remember what that's for. That's the pass-through a dollar amount. I haven't gotten to that point of when you pull up your check register for the day, it'll be easier to pull out the checks if you need to sort them in Excel. Here's the pass-through accounts.
Now, only the people processing the actual disbursement sheets do that, though, right?
Exactly. They're the ones who are currently sending the disbursement sheets down to Bree on the fax, and that will still continue. Once we get everybody, where we're really comfortable with commissions that are being put in there, we'll see what we do with that. But definitely for the time being, the disbursement sheets will still be sent up and marked as transactions. I think Karen or Chris in Florida showed you that when you mark a transaction, when you're ready to close it, you're gonna mark it ready for close, right?
Yeah.
Yep, and that's right here where it says, pending date. Okay, well, that's that part. Let me close this and delete it.
Mike, it's Judy and Gaylord. Is there any place where we can add an attachment here?
Attachment for?
Like a copy of an escrow check or a copy of a check for mutual release? Because that's what I do in QuickBooks. I attach copies of a lot of stuff.
There is a spot where you will be able to, and we have not used it yet, where you'll be able to upload everything from .loop into the transaction.
Okay.
So yes, and they're still working. I know that it's available. We've not used it yet. So as AccountTech does their tutorials on that, all your information, your purchase agreement, everything can be uploaded. And I believe it's through Transaction Plan that happens. That you upload all that stuff into, so all the information is there.
Hey Mike, this is Sue in Indian River. When you were showing the deposits, it looked like there was only a spot to just put like a check number and who the check came from.
Yep.
Is there a way that you can show like that it was cash or like a cashier's check or something, some form of payment that might affect, how you're cutting it back if you were to cut it back to the person that gave it to you, or time frames if it's a cashier's check, to know that you could do it right away?
There would not be, or there is not a way. You could make a note. There's on the commission plan, or maybe property basics. That's the one where you can make notes to things. Wait, we have a post screen? I don't think so. Church. Possibly in the features, but that's usually the property features there. Commission. Here, and under commission notes, you could make a note there.
Okay.
And that way, if you wanted to double check there, leave your escrow, click on that. Okay, that was a, cashier's check or cash even,
Right.
Right. I haven't ever been asked that question, so not sure. That's where.
Yeah. If you're cutting it back, if they want it back like the next day, then it makes a difference if you got it, cash or like a personal check.
Right. And you're going to have a copy of that in your office as well.
Right. Yeah. And then I have another question. You had said something about the noting it. What is it? Ready to close or something?
Yes.
Can you show us again where? I don't remember. I don't know that we covered that with Chris.
On the property basics page, once you've made it, you're going in, you've got the disbursement sheet, they're doing that disbursement sheet as well. You change it here instead of the status from pending to ready to close.
Okay. That
triggers it for Bree that she knows when we do a search.
Right, that's how you're going to know. Okay.
She can search. She's going to look at the disbursement sheet, but there's also that ready to close. If these things are coming, it's like, oh, I got it marked, but I didn't get a disbursement sheet. What happened? It'll help her kind of trigger that too, because there should be some transactions coming through. All right. I kind of screwed up on something. This deposit. Okay, so it is here. I got to write this down because I want to delete this transaction when I'm done. Rose 448. Okay. There is still another step that you'll have to do, and this is the banking step here. In order for the deposits to come in, you still have to batch them for the day. And that way it's going to show up when you do your bank reconciliation. So you're going to click on the banking tab at the top. Cross my fingers this works without going further. click on deposit on the left, new. I'm going to select Michigan. I'm going to select the 402. Of course, there's so many accounts here. Here we go, 402. Today's date. Then hit start. And I'm sure I'll walk these through if you guys have problems when you're going to start these out, because I know I didn't get it the first few times. Click on Add Undeposited. And here's the two deposits that we did. So you're going to click on both of them. So now when you click Add Deposit, this is matching up your deposit ticket. So you should have, I know some of you might do a deposit ticket for each escrow you have. Some do a batch for the whole day. If you do it as a batch, this is how it would look. You would do the total deposit ticket that you're scanning into the account or into the bank is $5,500. If you do it as an individual, say you only do 500 or 5,000, that you would do for 5,000. You do individual deposits or batches depending on how you're currently putting them in the system. But this will match what you're showing on your bank statement. So when you go to do your bank reconciliation, you should have a batch for $5,500, and then on your bank statement it'll say deposit $5,500 on today's date. That kind of makes sense? If there's some questions there. Currently dash, I record the TR from the dash. The transaction number, instead of dash for Samantha, will be the ID of the transaction. You won't have a dash number anymore. Yes, you will. Thanks, Tia. You will hit, once you do that and it matches, then you hit post. I don't want to post it because I don't want to, this is a fake deposit, but, and then, I think I can undeposit it. Once you hit post, I will anyways, click on the print button and then print this. That way you have a list of the transactions that make up your deposit as well. And I would keep that with wherever you're keeping your bank statement information.
Just like this way. Wait, quantity, stupid.
So, Mike, you just said print that. Is there a way we can not print it and keep it digitally?
No. Hold on, let me try that again. Post, print. I don't think from this screen you can save it to a file. It says you can up here, but it lies. Because it looks like you should be able to save it as an Excel, a PDF. In Darwin, you cannot, but in Transaction Plan, you can. So you might be able to go out and go into Transaction Plan, and I'm not sure anybody's really gone over the Transaction Plan stuff yet with you guys. But I've tried over and over to sending it to a PDF to, and it'll say like it's going to my desktop, but it never shows up.
If you go to the print screen, you usually have an option to select PDF on your PC's print screen. I wonder if that would work.
Yeah, it might work too, and that's something I don't typically do. So yeah, if you can find another way to save it as a PDF, and then save it right into a file. Otherwise, without having to turn around and rescan it, do it if you can figure it out, and then let me know as well. Because we're always printing it. Because like this will be like the total that I'm pulling from like Florida's account or Ohio's account. Unfortunately, with Michigan, I can't just pull this and send it to you because it'll be all the accounts when we're pulling. But we do the same batch that we did here for our commissions every day as well. I'm going to delete these just so I don't forget later, or unpost, delete, property, all right, delete. Any questions on this part of it over here when I'm doing the commissions. If you write the check wrong, this is how easy. Just go in, hit edit, and delete it. Terry, yours will also at the bottom, it will show the total for what's in each account as well, the commission account and the trust account.
Okay.
All right, property basics and.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is Patty from Elk Rapids. I had a question
problem.
regarding the pass-through.
Okay.
Are we going to write the check for the pass-through the same day that we send in the disbursement, or do we wait until we do with our reconciliation, like we do right now?
I would send it in, put it in the day that you're doing the disbursement, because that's what, if you're sending it today on us, we're going to pull it as well. You want it to match up with the, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I wouldn't wait until the next day. Now, again, if it's after 2 o'clock, then I would just, if you're putting stuff in, go ahead and date it for the next day. And I'm not even sure if you can pre-date that either. It might not give you, let you put in a future date.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. I'm sure I'll be talking to a lot. Any other questions over here? I know that this is like my first time training or trying to show stuff through, so, bear with me if I confused anybody, which I'm sure I did. One-on-one, I can probably walk you through and show you, have you clicking on the screen so we understand it, so I don't have a problem with that going into January or into next month too. The key thing is to make sure that you're verifying what's in your QuickBooks bank accounts that we can pull up and start new transactions. When we do it in, we'll date everything as January 1st in AccountTech. So don't backdate it to what's in your QuickBooks. We'll just do like a balance transfer over January 1st in AccountTech. Anything else?
Hey, Mike, this is Sue. Are you guys going to be doing that transfer of balance for everybody to get started, or are we doing that on the first?
You guys will have to do it because we don't have access to your numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever transactions you have, and again, I can help you walk through, Bree knows how to do these, Sue is, or Karen and Chris in Florida are really helpful. They've been doing it for a while now too, and actually Cammie in our Ohio office, they've done a great job. They just went live in November, and her and Kate have actually been able to zip through them, and I think they've actually worked through bank reconciliation as well. So we're, them and Bree will be able to walk you through how to do the bank reconciliations once you do have the numbers in there. I know I've got probably 300 I've got to put in for ourselves for my escrow account. Unfortunately, our software did not put the address on it, but it puts the seller and buyer's name, which doesn't help me attach it to an address now.
But shouldn't we reconcile for December before we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You want to make sure you reconcile December 1st before even starting it, because you got to have a hard number to start from. So yeah, so it's not something we expect to be having done the first week and stuff. Is as soon as you can have them, great. And there might be some stuff you can put in there, but again, I would still date them as like a January 1st rollover or balance forward date. That way we don't have anything going with our GL account for Michigan prior to January 1st. Because when you enter it in here into the into AccountTech, it does two things. It debits the escrow account for your office, and also sets credits a liability account that's set up directly to that GL account as well. So that there's a plus and a minus in our balance sheet with those transactions. All right. Jennifer, are we? you'll need to put in, Jennifer, you will need to put them in individually because they are specific to the property. I don't have any written instructions. There is, if you go to, as you're logging into AccountTech, there's a manual up on the top left, and that does have, so I guess yes, there are the written instructions. If you want to look, there's a lot of manual questions and answers on that, how to do commissions, how to enter the checks too. So yes, that is.
Mike, we can probably put together a job aid for that.
Okay, was that Jessica?
Yeah.
So you can like snag it?
You can snag it.
I think, on this main screen, there's this is the manual is right here in the top left, and you can go into it and search a word, and it'll take you to the page on escrows as well. It's a pretty large document. Not sure it's gonna...
Can we have everyone check their mute? There's some really bad background noise. Somebody's got something on in the background.
We can't find our way to simply agree.
Sounds like fun.
So Mike, this is Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Are we gonna have pending transactions that came over from Dash that have maybe already closed?
You may, yes. Because AccountTech we told them, we wanted to be live by January, but we did not want to turn around and enter anything in December. So there is that lag time from the time they uploaded to the time we're going live. So manually, you're going in and changing those transactions and closing them out in Dash. Where by once we're live, you'll close them out here in AccountTech. We didn't want to have to re-enter or add up the 1099s for Michigan for a couple weeks worth of transactions. So I just said, no, let's just kind of pretend like we're going live with the December 10th or 9th or whatever it was. And so there will be some transactions that might pop up on your system as pending. Don't do anything with them, or don't go in and close them out again, because they're probably closed out in Dash. We'll figure out a way. I think you can withdraw them with the date, or change it to do not submit, I think it is. We'll have a little better answer on that later, because we just didn't want to tell them we weren't actually live.
Okay, but we will have like transactions to attach our earnest deposits to already in there. Then we're not going to have to enter all of those right from scratch, are we?
You should have, like, pending transactions should come through that you can attach them to. The transactions that if you did not put in, if you only have the buyer, if they were not put into Dash originally, might not be there, and then you would have to add those in. But I'm hoping that most of these are. It's transactions that I know we all have in our escrow account that are maybe older than we should have them in our escrow account.
Yeah, yeah.
That will be some of the problem childs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then maybe the pendings that have been written in the last 2 weeks that we didn't have the seller on, those might not be in there.
They might not be in there, right, because you didn't turn around and put them into Dash at this point.
Okay, but if we did put them into Dash, has Dash still been feeding AccountTech?
Yes, Dash is feeding AccountTech daily right now, or throughout the day. So there's a chance that anything new will still be there. It's a couple of transactions that might have closed out that, that we did not, so,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess I was unclear, was that a one-time thing that it was gonna feed backwards into AccountTech, or was that gonna be a continuing story?
No, it's continuing now because it's live with us. So,
Okay.
really, going forward, there really shouldn't be anything you have to do in Dash. Now, Bree still is end up going in there once in a while and adjusting a commission, or for some reason a referral doesn't come through like it should.
Right.
That she will go into Dash, but it's something we, as admins or ASCs, you shouldn't have to do going forward.
Cool.
Yeah. If cross your fingers if all goes well. You know.
Yeah, right.
It's been working pretty well in the other areas that we're using it. So, like I said, she goes in and tweaks a few items, but not everything.
Okay.
I think. Do I have anybody from Ohio in here?
It should be Michigan specific.
Okay. I couldn't remember it because they're already been doing what they've been doing. So, I know I'm not a great trainer, so I think it'd be easier as someone's having the question and needing to enter, giving me a call or Bree a call again, one-on-one, and we can probably walk through it. I think you'll find it's a little easier than just thinking, okay, this thing's crazy and there's a lot more to do, but I think it'll be easier in the long run. And I think you'll be able to find balancing what we're pulling from your account easier as well. Hopefully. And we'll be able to show reports that you can pull to balance that out.
So one thing this would take away, Mike, eventually is QuickBooks, transaction logs, and disbursement sheets, right? Down the road?
Hesitant on the disbursement sheets, but yes, the transaction log and QuickBooks.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because the disbursement sheets right now is, we look at it and it's easier for us to look at a disbursement sheet and verify whether it's correct than just looking at the numbers in AccountTech and assuming that it calculated them correctly. So once we have commissions in there for, it might be another year when we have this year versus last year, or there's a lot of areas that are based on like a rolling numbers for their commissions rather than the 4 quarters like most of the Northern Michigan offices do. Same way with the company dollar, getting to 100%. Until there's historic numbers in there, it won't help that.
Okay.
So a lot of you will still have to call me to get numbers from our old software as to where they're at company dollar wise, because of the anniversary dates won't be, information will not be in there. So we expect that to be a little bit of a hassle because it won't show up on their check stubs like they normally see it. Just a heads up, agents will be getting an email when they have a closing that we're depositing money into their account if they have direct deposit, or if we're processing a check. But they will get an email that we just processed a closing for them with their agent earnings reports year to date on them. So,
and that's starting January 2nd?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So as long as all their emails are in there correctly, they'll start getting that number, and it'll look different than what they're used to, but the key numbers are in there for volume and earnings.
And Mike, are those going to be right in the email as an attachment, or do they have to go log in elsewhere to retrieve those?
I haven't seen it for a while. I believe it's an email, right, that when they click on it, if they see it. Up the road, they will actually have a login to transaction plan that we will set up, and they will be able to go in at any time and actually see their agent earnings or transactions, clients information that they have for them. When they get their agent statement, it will be emailed to them. They'll get a hyperlink that they can click on, whether they've logged in or not. They can click on the hyperlink and they'll take it to their company bill, and they can see the breakdown of what the charges come from. Or if they have their login and want to log in, they can do it. The hyperlink, I believe, stays live for 7 to or maybe 10 days or something for them to, once they get the email, to go in and look. Otherwise, they'll have to log in personally. And that'll be something that we'll set up, and we'll train all of you on how to get them into their transaction plan.
Cool.
And what
Thanks.
reports they can. And it will help you guys also, because that when you have that, Sue, you'll be able to pull up their earnings as well to say, okay, I have someone close to hitting their 100%. Where are they at? And you know, those numbers are there, or will be at some point. Okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. I wish you guys all a nice, have Merry Christmas. The year is going to end pretty quickly, but if you have anything, please give us a call and we can help you through it.